Gestalt Wellness Institute was founded in 2012. I created Gestalt Wellness Institute in the thought that I would like to bring mental health and Gestalt therapy here in the Philippines. We created a space where they can be safe, where they can express themselves, where they can be empowered and help themselves. And I believe that with this capacity that we have, we will be able to help more people, especially those who are going through things that not everybody can understand. I hope that whatever you are feeling right now, wherever you are, and however you're feeling, we'll be able to reach out to us and lend you a hand to find a place where things will get better.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another brand new episode of Hope TV, where we feature stories from diverse individuals from different walks of life and how they step up to various challenges. This episode is brought to you by JCI Cebu and Gestalt Wellness Institute, in partnership, of course, with Halo. This is your host, Deji D. Montermoso, and of course, with me is our resident mental health expert, Dr. Philip Chen Tan of Gestalt Wellness Institute. And later, we will be introducing our two special guests. In our country, disability is one of the prevailing social issues. According to National Council for Disability Affairs, or the NCDA, an attached bureau under the Department of Social Welfare and Development, there are over 1.6 million Filipinos with disabilities in the country. 6.77% of Filipino households have PWDs, or person with disabilities. Stereotyping, stigma, and discrimination are challenges they face every single day. Tonight in Hope TV, we're transcending barriers as we feature two empowered individuals who will be sharing their stories on how they stood up to various challenges experienced by people with disabilities and people in the underprivileged sector. Without further ado, let me introduce to you our guests. She's the president of Team Dates, or the Differently Able Talent Entertainment and Sports, a PWD president in Barangay Sambagdos, Cebu City Federation president for PWD Women, and Cebu City Person with Disability Federation president. Please help me welcome our first guest this evening, Ms. Jocelyn Abong Liason. Ma'am, maayong gabi na mo.
Good evening sa natong tanan.
Yes. And our second guest is a PWD leader and an advocate. A virtual round of applause to Mr. Felipe Jojo Pimentel Jr.
Maayong gabi and to hope to be my
Yes, ma'am. Bibigyan na itong welcome, Sir Jojo and Ma'am Joyce, to Hope TV. It's a pleasure having you this evening.
Likewise.
Yes.
Thank you.
And before we will start our talk this evening, we will have to get to know you first. So we'll start with Sir Jojo. You're married, sir, no?
Yeah, I'm married for 23 years with 4 children, all boys.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm working in the government,
Mm-hmm.
in the Office of City Architects. And I'm already 12 years in government service.
Mm-hmm.
But in my advocate as a PWD, I've been a PWD for 52 years.
Mm-hmm.
And since I won the World Championship in arm wrestling, ever since I've been a PWD advocate ever since.
Mm-hmm. That's good to hear. Yes, Ma'am Joyce.
Yes, married sad ko. I have 7 children.
Mm-hmm.
Then, saan niya nag-pass away na. Then, 24 years in government service.
12, 34 years.
Yes, ako dugay-dugay na jud ko sa City Hall nag-work.
Mm.
So, happy being part na interview ani dahil sa pa. Mura siguro to.
34 years, wala akong papa
Yes.
nag-work with sa City Hall for 37 years. But
Okay.
he passed away during the
Asa
pandemic.
mga office?
Sa Koan Department of BPS or BSP.
Di
Mura ka na sa department. Mura
DPS.
Oo, kana sa DPS. Oo, mura ka na sa
Kasi
DPS.
kaila ko sa mga.
Oo, Mario Montermoso is my...
Parang kaila ko.
Basta gwapo mo, wala papa. So 34 years and 12 years in public service.
Basta gwapo kailan niya.
So talking about PWD mo ba? In the context nato dahil sa Pilipinas, kung saan ganun yung PWD? What does PWD mean? And who are considered PWD? We'll start with you, Sir Jojo.
Well, PWD means person with disability.
Mm-hmm.
Before it was called disabled. But when the time changes, it's also changes in nature. Hihimo nilang PWD. Now, who are PWDs? No, these persons, there are disability not visible in their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Doc can attest to that. Even when I assigned at the PWD office, I asked the guidance of Dr. Ching, if I can mention, because there are person telling that they are PWDs, but I cannot tell them physically. But when they bring the papers, medical certificate, then
Mm-hmm.
I'm already a disability.
Mm-hmm.
That is why to be a PWD, sometimes, especially those who are not visible in the naked eye, so kinahanglan jud og damlaw jud ka og himuan.
Mm-hmm.
But in a visible eyes, kami ni Ma'am Joy, we are called orthopedically disability. There are speech impairment, kanang buak disbabaw sa ubos,
Mm-hmm.
what we call clip and lip palate,
Mm-hmm.
naasay ka ng mga pikot o dunggan, hearing impaired, usasad na sa mga difficult to identify
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of hearing impaired nga mga brothers and sisters nato nga di sila mo mailhan gawas ra kung bakyaw na sa ilang kamot sa sign language. Anya considering the PWD are levels of disability. So we can discuss it later.
Yes, Ma'am Joyce.
Yes, aside nata na part na sa to aron ang kanang disabilities
Mm-hmm.
o na-adapt na siya. So daghan kanang mga gagmay nga tao karon murag naa na siya kanang height nga pwede na to ikuan nga part siya sa pagka person with disabilities o nya kanang mga mental disorder,
Mm-hmm.
bipolar,
Oh, okay.
o scoliosis, ano sakit sa panit.
Mm-hmm.
Oo, sakit sa panit.
Cirrhosis.
Cirrhosis, apila na siya sa kanang kuan ato arong definition sa person with disabilities.
So, technically, karon mo, kita ko na dito scope ang PWD, mo-consider sila.
Yes.
So, before kay, limited na to sila.
Yes.
What was the reason behind it? Is there a policy or kanang order with an organization na kinahanglan apilo na sila?
I don't know sa NCBE na kuan kay
Mm-hmm.
during sa time kuan na nila ang DOH mo gud naghatag ana nga mandate nga they are part na niya sa person with disabilities. Pero sa amo dili nga part sa financial wala naagi ganang guidelines o kinsa rin jud to ang allowed na pwede mo dawat ana.
Which is also good, I would like to highlight what Sir Jojo mentioned earlier nga PWDs dili ka to makita dahil sa
Yes.
visible eye. Because that person might be normal, that's what you think that person should be, pero you don't know kung say gibear ang mga tao. Diba? Like mental health, affected ba siya?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So, all to clear things out, but the PWDs aren't those people who can, you've only seen na they are physically challenged, no? But there are also people who experience another set of standards, no? That are already considered as part of the organization. And kaning you as one advocate of this organization, let's start with Ma'am Joyce. What are the challenges, ma'am, faced by PWDs or any personal experience na ganahan mo i-share?
Discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
Grabe yun. Bisag asa ka pa dong, asa ka lakaw na agad ang discrimination. Aside sa discrimination, bullying. Wagi na pinakakuan nga amo ang masugatan. Kana gid siya nga challenge gid nga until now. Na wala pa jud bitaw na mawagtang sa unang-una sa mga tao bitaw. Nga basta nakita na nila for how many years nga we are part of the society. We're not asking special attention.
Yes.
But equal para sa mga PWD. So mura gid ako ang nakita. So even sa ako grabe gyud na dyan.
Even until now, no?
Yes.
Even in the workplace?
Yes. Na jud.
Discrimination
Discrimination.
sometimes starts at home.
Mm.
Not at home, work.
Your family also.
It's so sad no hearing ba you're already someone to look up to, the president, pero
Yeah.
still, di ba? Discrimination is still alive. You know? That sense of respect na angay ihatag lang unta ba? No? Pero naagi hapon, it's so sad. What about you, Sir Jojo? Do you have any experiences on challenges?
Yeah, kay actually ang kaning because dili Cebu sa Pilipinas mostly ang environment mo yung time mo adapt sa disability na mo. But what happened here is kami mo yung
Yes,
adapt.
come on, fit in.
Example sa school buildings. How many school buildings in Cebu City have ramps? I can only name one. Maybe normal, Cebu Normal College, kanang bagong building nila. But the rest, wala yung mga PW. But, kung imong i-survey, nakakadid sila yung mga limping, mga orthopedic na mga kanang estudyante. But because they want to bang get even with the society by getting a proper education, just like me. So ako, kami magbukat-kat sa from ground floor to 6th floor. Yeah, nag-hope lang ta nga every day will be a lucky day.
Yes.
Because kung malasod ka, yun ka. Oh, ako how many times I slip down and crawl ng mga basak nga lugar. But fortunately, daghang tao kay magkiat man. Oh, pero daghang tao magbantay lang sad. Nya discrimination, as what Ma'am Joy said. Kapag ka ang nature yun sa tao, when you see a person approach to you, they would kadabang think na akani mangayon na sa because PWD akani nanasinihan niyo because PWD, not knowing that we had an idea, not knowing that we had also an aspiration on what our community can provide us through our voices. So, example, itong among gimension daan ramps, there are a lot of places na kinahanglan kami magtuyok-tuyok, mangita kami ka na lugar na lower para musaka. Or ako, mangita pa kong kakuktan tubo. Basta lang na ako kakuktan, makasakan ako. Gamit
What about the rest, sir? Kanang wheelchair?
Oh, deprived of almost everything, especially if the places, if the community is not a PWD friendly community. Sometimes, sad to say, atong mga politicians, nga kanang mutandro lang, kani kinanglan niya ni, kani ninididad, kani i-implementa ni. We have to kanang make a voice in the stand na ato naning magama para sa mga PWD. Nya, makando lang. Or, gani, okay, let us say, example, ma-implement, but without our participation.
Yes.
Usasad na.
Correct.
So, ang kinahanglan na to will always be consultative ang approach sa usa ka project niya. Gamiton yun na nilang nothing about us without us. Oh. Maybe, considerably, we are an end user, but ayaw dyan ninyo i-consider nga what GPWD nga moagi diha. Because di nyo na lawaon ang ramp or di ba mga counter
Yes.
or ang mga toilet nga or PWD. Di nyo na lawaon na agi in the long run of our lifespan na agi mo solve PWD. Na agi mo gamit diha. Maybe not daily, but na agi. Mao na among giingon nga kanang consideration must always put in heart, not in mind. Kay ko wala kay kasing-kasing, you cannot help us.
Yes.
You cannot help that sector.
I believe there are several classifications of policies and regulations already in place that will be tackled later. But I have a question for you, Brother Chen, regarding on the discrimination issue faced by PWDs in our communities. Have you ever encountered someone who seek for your psychological advice regarding their experience on discrimination and stigma?
Right. Salamat sa pangutana, no? Kay, I think timely kay ni na 2 weeks ago na ako'y client na iyahang problema ni luulan ako related sa discrimination because PWD po siya. No? Ako siya I think the term there is a flip na in fact na surgery na ganito pero na siya speech impairment. No? And, luwi kaayo kay tarong kayo siya og educational background, nakagraduate pa dito college, pero for some reason mo apply siya og mga indot na mga workplace, dili man siya madawat parehas siya mga peers na equal unta o qualifications. No? So grabe kaayo siya na disheartened. Naka-realize ko wa man ko'y ma-diagnose na problema niya psychologically.
Yes.
Ang problema kay externally
Yes.
discriminate siya sa akong pananaw no nahimo siya minority. And para lang nako naman to inindot na point ihimo si sir no na usahay na atay mga disability na invisible no
Yes.
di makita sa naked eye niya kaning mga experts sila nga nasa disability no so para nako na ani siya special considerations made kay kaning mga tao na mental disability no ay mga disorder, depression, schizophrenia, bipolar, etc. Kasagaran na siya special na discrimination na tawagon ng mga tao buang ni siya. Tawagon buang or baliw or di na tinuod na tapulan ra ka or imura na himo-himo ayaw sige inuwi diha no so para nako this is quite sad kaya makitabo na ana sila internal struggle.
Yes.
And in ila pa jud ipugong no? Dili nila mapakita sa world na naa sila na struggle no and I think it's tragic lang kay kung naibalaod himuon sakto kay itong ingon importante kayo ang beneficiary sa balaod involved unta sa balaod pero at the same time naay uban na nauwaw na magpakita na nasa disability so it's really a process na para nako mahinay tungod sa discrimination and I think we're all under the same banner mangyapon ng
Yes.
disabilities na any discrimination.
That's why this should be because the purpose of the party's representatives no, is for the underrepresented and underprivileged to be exposed with the solutions for them to be represented well. Unta, no? But I believe man that there are there exist already several laws and policies or even regulations that support the PWDs. But we will, I will highlight that for later. But for now, I would like to ask Ma'am Joyce, unsa ka common ma'am ang discrimination for PWD sa workplace?
Kuan. Tanang, sometimes they never understand, especially og mag-uwan. It's hard for us to travel, labi na magsakay lang ka og jeep. So, dili na nila masabtan. That is one way discrimination. It should be understandable unta nga dapat sabton tani kay naglisod ni siya sakay or naglisod pangitag sakyanan kay lisod jud kay dangog hadlok mas slide. So usa gina siya niya sa pag-apply og trabaho. Do dili jud kada yung dawaton.
Yes.
I-compare sa inyo ha, wala dayong tawagan lang mo. So that is usa gina sa nasugatan gyud na kanang kuan. At the same time, parents po ikaw ilang anak pagawas mo na ilang pan. So sa amo ang part sa being a team leads president na nami ginabuhat anak para ipagawas namo ang mga bata. Madili sila mo. Amo gi-empowered ang mga PWD regarding sa sports.
It's so good to hear mo.
Yes.
And also, I would really salute our city government for welcoming PWDs to work to our units. It's also good. And would you consider our country, let's go to Sir Jojo,
Yeah.
are we a PWD-friendly country?
Um,
Yes or no, sir?
Is on no.
No, okay.
But
Actually, no.
we are on the process of adapting the PWD friendly country because namin sa team mga advocator, hindi man lang kayo kita. But for me, to be a PWD friendly country, we should put no more idea of putting a party list for PWD
Yeah.
because hindi ako na sila magtrabaho dito. In fact, natay mga example na daan, there is one senator na PWD. Does he works for the PWD sector? No.
We have governor before, Sabila.
Oh.
Agrees with
And in
that.
fact, ang mga anak-anak is my close friend. But in every time symposium, ako yun lang i-mention yung papa. Patay na. Sorry, sir. Oh. Pero wala siya nag-work for PWD. He works for a labor force, labor sector. Oh. Okay. Ang idea, put a PWD here on that office, put a PWD here on that office, and empower them, empower us, and then so we can share our ideas, we can hear our voice, because empowering a PWD is like silhig na tukog. Kung kami naman ni Ma'am Joy, sad to say, katali karon, kami rin doha, paling-paling na dito kami sometimes, mura hindi ka malikon.
Agree.
If the government right now hear us, mura namin kabalikon. But we are trying to flex ourselves. We are trying to be very flexible in our physical ability, in our attitude, in our behavior.
Yeah.
Ano ba?
Noon jud.
So, kung panahon nga, mabalik man ng Joy, if we try to look back, tagahan na rin, naghangad na mo dito.
Yes.
And we cannot, I don't want to be emotional, no? We cannot allow na kaming duha mabalik yung daghang kayo ng tanaw na mo. No. Because ako ramang good na ako yung moto. Murag ako na din siya, ako na naging applicable na sa kuha because kanigong mga mentally challenged, di man good. My motto is disability is a gift of uniqueness and creativity. In a community, you have to be unique to excel. You have to be creative to shine. Pero how about our brothers and sisters in the mental disability, di ba, Doc?
Malit behind jud.
Malip behind. Pero, kanang, if, example, I will always try to give example. Kanang si anak ni Chris Aquino, kanang dako kayo si
Joshua.
Joshua. Obis na siya. But, gitry ni Miss Chris Aquino o padagan, giganahan siya. Nahimo siyang maratoner, karon nindot iglawas si Badok. Daot na taas niya. Lupigon ang uban o padagan. Niya. Kuha na siya autism. Nya, ako, I would like to share to you kanang kanta ni Vincent. Siya kanta ng Vincent. Starry, starry night. Kana. Ito sa story of Vincent Van Gogh. Si Vincent Van Gogh was a autism. No? Unya, the parents keeps on giving paintings, brushes, canvas para lang mag-paint. And then, because of the autism that Vincent has, dili yun ka-appreciate ang tao until here comes ang modern era. Wala ma-diagnose si Vincent as has disability. Ang ila lang gitanaw nila mura Picasso daw ng modern time kay mga abstract, but here comes the modern time nga ni evaluate niya daw, what you call that, si Vincent de Van Gogh has disability. Mao na sige siya paint. And now, what happened to the paintings of Vincent Van Gogh? Even ilang introduk pati ng mahala. Tanawa ninyo ang lyrics sa kanta nga Vincent. Makita din niyo pataka lang siya paint. Because that is the idea. But how about those PWDs in a mental category na ay potential but dili na to mauglat? May nalanggay niya kinaatay team dates karon nga looking towards a grassroots para ma-appeal of sports. Kay in a Paralympic, lisod kayo i-qualify kung kinsa yun na ay mental disability to join the sports. Mao bitong naa yung mga top honcho nga mga psychologists, orthopedic doctors para jud mutan-aw ani nila. Because there is one team in Russia na dili ay mga PWD mo na disqualified because gitrain sila to become a PWD para mo appeal sa mga sports basta they excel. So ina ka kanang diversified ang PWD kanya work discrimination sa work. Ako when I finished college I tried to apply sa mga company, but they would always ask for multitask. Kanang multitask. You're not just a estimator, you're not just a project engineer, you must also be a purchaser, a liaison officer, and di mo na mahimos PWD.
So basically, they ask you if you can multitask.
Because the other friends that I have who've been working for them previously, moingon makaya ba yan ani mo Joe? Sa 5 biya akong trabaho diya. Liaison, purchaser, project manager, estimator, draftsman. Wag lang kung tagaan sa 5 ka boksweldoan makaya ra na siguro.
Pero hindi good tao.
Okay. So I continue. So
Go ahead.
maora din na siya. Bisag sa City Hall, no? Ang City Hall is not a PWD friendly building.
Yes.
No?
As in,
Musud ka, dili. Because it's specific ako, as a technical person, specific yung guy ko, kung sa ibutan sa ramp, kung sa sinsad ka, Steve, ang ramp. But then, kabaw ka, ang naghimo good, dili PWD. Nya, ang inspection, dili PWD. Nya, ang approve, di sa PWD. Muna nga, usahay mo na sila, sabaan ka na kaya doon. Si Joy, si Jojo, sabaan. Na,
But you're very vocal with
wa
your
magud sila.
experiences.
Wa magud sila kasabot. Maubitaw nga, kato si J. Tarok, there is one, J. Tarok ba or si Ivan Marina, there is one episode, sa documentary episode nga, si, basta either na nila, nag-wheelchair yun siya niya, ipoktos yun niya yung tiil o siminto para yun di yun siya makalakaw. Niya, ito siya rin nag-paddle sa iyang wheelchair. Niya, he has given 2 days to maneuver, to live a life of a PWD. First day pa lang daan, suko na siya. Wala.
Lisod
Murag
na
ka
siya.
PWD.
Lisod kayo. Lisod kayo. How much more?
O ang PWD.
Pila na ka years PWD, ma'am?
47?
Oh.
47, you're 52.
I'm 54, 2 years old
54,
ko na, 2 years old ko na PWD. So 52 years old na ako PWD.
So with all the problems, ma'am and sir, no, that you've experienced as PWDs, what are the different ways mo that you can address to people kung saan mo pag-protectar, kung saan mo pag-empower? What will be your final message, sir, to our government?
Ako lang sa mga parents lang,
Mm-mm.
ayaw taguain yung PWD, either
Yes.
mental disability or orthopedic disability. Try to support your anak na PWD
Mm-mm.
to kanang have a proper education, because you know your education is a great equalizer.
Yes.
It equalize everything kung naa kay education. Kanya musamot ang bata ka PWD, o discriminate, o panalitag wala siya grado.
Mm.
Kanya kung naa siya disability mentally, try to pull the children out. Kanya bring the PWD into proper place, proper person. Wala naman tayo, di naman tayo nga mga ihasron.
Mm.
In fact, ang kanang bitang sa una, tawagong mongoloid. Wala naman dyan ng word ng mongoloid. The proper word is Down syndrome.
Mm.
So, discriminate na ato na nang salitway. Naman mga anak nga Down syndrome, try. Naman tayong mga SPED. Wala naman tayong nga dadong pa natong PWD na
Yes.
certain place. Na anan sa atong
Yes.
community, atong SPED. Kanya, ang atong mga teacher karon was trained especially
Yes.
for special education para ani atong mga PWD. So,
So somehow, sir, our education has improved.
yeah, nag-improve na atong education. Kanya kaning ang ato sang education sector is also reaching out para atong mga PWD
Yes.
sa inyo. Nalipay gani ko nga atong ipakita atong graduate lang karon nga mga maestra muna ako gyud na itong mag-wheelchair kay
Mm.
tagaan siya o kanang mga study materials. And i-graduate yun ang PWD nga wheelchair bound nga cum laude.
Mm.
Cum laude.
So,
So,
do you,
my message, if you don't look us in our eyes, if you don't look us in our faith, in our physically, but just look at in our heart, you can see the goodness in us. And you're also part of the community. We want to kanang gel with the mainstream society. Suway lang may pagkihalubilo sa amo, pagkistorya sa amo, ana. And para atong government give us a clear support, give us a space where we can work, we can maneuver, we can express our thoughts, and we can also kanang give to other PWD the support that they had, because kung wala ko'y support ang sa PWD in a grassroots, sa mga per barangay, saan mo nato sila pagbunulog to be productive. And in a final note, kanang atong project sa atong mayor, Michael Lopez Rama, Singapore like Cebu, nang amo rin yung ma-share ni Ma'am Joy, anak, mayor is kanaan rin to clean up our street with PWD mendicants. And how do we do that? How do we do that? We will not just pull them out, put them in the barricades ato sa ila, and lock them up. Really, ato na silang tagaan o trainings, education, proper guidance. Dili lang kay kana i-groom sa nato sila, limpyo sila. If they can go out in the streets, naligo, kumot, ang wheelchair, tarong. They, we will try to give them the psychological support na mabuhi ka not only by opening your palm and putting in the hands of somebody. No, you can kanabang example, sa Australia, there are mentalists sa PWD, di nyo buliho. Mula siya statwa. Ba't nga siya kabo diri? So, muhatag ang mga kanabang tao nga mulabay niya. Because, what? Ang talent, di ba? Hindi naman ka makaingon nga kanang mentalist, can only be physical, katong able nga mula siya statwa. It can be a PWD. Kung ka mga musista, they can serenade the street, no? Nya, ugnay mo request tagaan. But then, kinahanglan ang appearance, limpyo. No? Nya, di isang bugoy. O nya, verbally, di isang bastos. Karong sa musturya. It is up to us to transform a PWD.
Yes.
Because, it takes someone to know one. No?
It's the PWD to know PWD.
Yeah, ana. You cannot say all is in you. Ana, because PWD mura na siya o kanang if you like pets, sige, I consider PWD pet. Ngayon mo lang singhagan. Because they are human beings. We are human beings. We have heart, feelings, and emotion that could be easily hurt every now and then. So kinahanglan ta o proper caring, nurture, a hands just like Mother Mary, nga nang wala mag-discriminate kung kinsa ka, unsa ka, o asa ka.
Yes.
Ana. And then, Mayor Mike, in your 3 years sa imong term, and we can assure Ma'am Joy here that you can achieve a Singapore life sa mga sektor.
Yes, thank you so much, Sir Jojo. Yes, Ma'am Joy.
Yes, ako asang part. So, ang ako lang is to invite all the parents na kanang bitang ang tahon dito ng stigmatism na ang mga anak taguan jud kay we need to support our mga anak nga naay person with disability. Nya atong i-engage sa sports kay during sa time 2018, i-appeal ni para games dito sa Marikina.
You can introduce your organization.
Yes,
10 dates.
10 dates. Definitely evolve talent, entertainment, and sports. So, dito na ko nakita nga dili date na dapat mauwaw. Kaya na pa day mas grabe pa di ay sa ko ang pagka-person with disability. Na piil na lay mulihok dito. Ulo na lay mulihok, pero dako kaayo mga allowances. Na walay kamot. Na walay tiil, pero maayo kaayo mang langoy.
Yes.
So dapat ato na siyang ipagawas ba kay daw sakto tong ingon ni Sir Jojo nga sometimes dili na to iasa sa government, but if we try to help our children with disabilities to engage sa sports, adto na to makita ma-amaze gyud nato nga unique di ay ning mga bata pwede na to mausab ang ilang kinabuhi into sports kay nakita mo nato what if ug wala na imong parents kinsay mo nurture nimo. What if ug wala na imong tabang nimo, walay city government, kinsa may mo tabang nimo, ikaw na jud sa imong kaugalingon.
Yes.
I just hope nga sa amo ang payamig advocacy ni Sir Jojo is to help our PWD. Ako ang part, ako ang team dates, nag-focus gid na sa sports pa, maagni gid namo ang mga grassroots bitaw na to nga mag-appeal sila.
Person to contact, ma'am, for 10
Yes.
dates.
Oh. Pwede?
Sure.
0922-427-9146. Actually, we're still doing na, nag-training na may karon kay hoping we donate duwa next year. So, libre atong sports complex sa Abiliana. Para sa to ang kanang training ground sa to ang mga sports na minded na mga PWD.
Yes. So there's beauty, talent, skills, no, for persons with disability. According to Sir Jojo, let's look at them in the heart.
Yeah.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You have something to say, Mom?
No? Thank you. Thank you for inviting us to share sa mo ang mga
Would you like to say hi to someone?
hi. Ako nakagasa. I love you na lang.
Sir, what about Sir Jojo? Your voice, sir.
This is a very good venue
Mm-mm.
of expressing our thoughts. It is not an ordinary day na makastorya may ani.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes mustorya may ani adto sa mga session hall,
Mm-mm.
but with a proposed ordinance mo na makastorya.
Yes.
Mo na sometimes misinterpreta nga kana. We ask too much.
Mhm.
But then correct. Si Ma'am Joy. I like consider ni mong parent ko na, how about kung kami, wala na sad mi. No? Kami, ako, I on my the downstream of my age, 54. Ikaw mong dyan, nakumutana ni mo.
52.
Oh.
Proud 52.
Loud and proud.
Yeah, kani kanang we are also trying to look for another batch of leaders.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Because nothing is permanent in this world. Kami mupasa rin din, mupasa rin. In fact, kami, ni Ma'am Jay, magsistorya namin, mo na ni atong ikuan, mo na ni atong ipuli, mo na ni this is the next generation of leaders.
Mhm.
But then, kung may support, it will all vanish down. So, mabanish na, mawagtang, makaskade, united we stand, divided we fall. May ngana lang Japon.
But in spite, Anna, we will continue to help,
Yes.
even though they are not,
Yes.
but in our part, ipadayon ginato.
And JCA Cebu is with you.
Yes, thank you
Salamat,
for that.
salamat sa inyo.
Salamat sa
This
kaayan.
shout out sa akong family,
Yes.
my wife, hi, peace. sa akong mga anak, na mga you never know, you have my blood and my shadow, so you're looking at yourself in the mirror, but with me in the background.
O shout out sa mo ang kanang federation officer, sa mo ang group nga North and South nga mga president sa kada barangay.
Yes.
Sa ako ay mga gwapo, mga anak ng gwapa.
Timely kayo ni Ma'am Joy, Sir Ted.
Yes.
Part of our celebration for National Disability
Yes.
Rehabilitation and Prevention Week.
Nice
Thank you,
program.
GCI.
Yes.
Thank you, GCI.
And thank you so much for gracing us with your presence, ma'am and sir. No? Salamat kaayo sa inyong
Baka,
panahon.
This is one of the very heart-touching and
Wow.
heartwarming kanang kamong mga tao ba
Love.
na ingana dyan. Because kanang not every day, as I said, maka-encounter ka o kanang people nga mura o mukuan na mo muhatag og support,
Mm.
no, nya kada bang mo simpatiya, naiuban just sympathy of the disability, but not in the heart. So salamat kayo, GCI.
Yes.
Sir Jack, sakit anak ko nililigan.
Yes.
Thank you ka.
Sir Jax nasa Gawas. Thank you so much, ma'am and sir. So clearly, there is still a long way to go regarding disability inclusion in our country. We need a whole of government and a whole of society approach to overcome the issues confronting our disabled brothers and sisters. We need to advocate not for charity, but for equity for this disadvantaged and vulnerable sector of our society. We must revisit our mindset about this sector. We should stop treating the PWDs as liabilities of society. They can be productive if given the opportunity and support. The world would be a better place if able people would help ensure that people with disabilities are given lives worth living. Again, this episode is brought to you by JCA Cebu and Gestalt Wellness Institute, in partnership, of course, with Halo. This is your host, Deji Montermoso, and together with me, our resident mental health expert, Dr. Philip Chen Tan. Ma'am and sir, daghan kayong salamat.
Thank you kaayo.
Yes, thank you kaayo ha.
Daghan salamat.
kayong salamat. Shout out to my kids, hello, Bo and Gustav, and to my sunflower, Jenny, thank you so much. Thank you for watching us. See you again soon for another episode of Hope TV. Daghang salamat, be blessed, and be a blessing always.